at the time. He was born in 2020, so he was 2, you know.
Wow, yeah.
Thankfully, Chris was there to help. But yeah, I started chemo. I started losing my hair after I got done with chemo. So basically, this is how chemo works.
Do you have a drink with you?
I do. This is
What are
going to
you
be my
drinking?
first drink in like 3 weeks.
Wow, that's dope.
So hang
And
with me. But this is
hey,
mostly Diet Coke and some Jack.
Diet Coke, no
Cheers.
Jack. Cheers. I
Yeah.
wish I had Jack. I love Jack. My favorite is Crown, though. If I had Crown, that would be that's like my go-to. Diet Coke
It's
and
pretty
Crown.
strong.
So you have Jack and a little bit of Diet Coke. Then it sounds
I think
like
so.
nice. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. Work is crazy. I feel like I spend way too much time working, but
That's a lot of people out there. So how did you hear about this podcast that you're now on?
Jay Neasy, that's the homie.
Yes, and he brought you up a lot. Did he text you? Is that what it was? Or did he call
he told
you?
me.
Or
He texted me and was like, "Look at this." He's like, "Look at this. You gotta check this out."
we're just a podcast about growing up in Spanaway in the 90s. So
I know it's very, very cool for us old heads that want to
super niche.
reminisce.
We don't talk with the best vernacular sometimes. And because of that, I try to clean it up a little bit, but it just it was over edited. So, but yeah, so don't worry, anything we could edit out. But what was it like growing up in Spanaway in the 90s? I think, like I said, it's such a niche topic, but it's such a unique thing for us.
Yeah, I think for me, the minorities, just like, I felt like I was a minority. I think because there was so many cool ethnic backgrounds, and I always felt like, God, I wish I was Korean, or I wish I was Samoan, or I wish like they have all these cool foods and cultures, and I always wanted to learn more, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, no, go ahead.
And they're like military. It was like a new area for military families.
Exactly. That's why I was there, because my
Me
dad was in the
too.
military.
My dad was in the military.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What branch was he in and all that good stuff?
He was Air Force.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Air Force. Where were you born?
Here in Tacoma at Madigan, the old Madigan hospital.
Dope. Okay. Damn.
They don't have that hospital anymore. It was like a big brick building.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it was kind of like a campus almost, where it was like little buildings kind of all spread out from what I remember. So yeah, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cause my mom worked at the new Madigan. So cause she was a nurse there. Funny. So yeah. So oh man. So you went to, so what elementary school did you go to? Since we're going all the way back. Damn. So you were born in Madigan.
All the way back.
Yeah. Dang. That's crazy.
I went to Evergreen Elementary.
Okay. Yep. Same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't come until third grade. Third grade.
Okay. So we were in third grade at Evergreen together.
Yeah.
I played a lot of tetherball. We were fighting over that tetherball.
No, you were like the best. If there's one thing I remember from elementary school, is that you were dope at tetherball. Like,
man, we had one at my house.
So you were already hustling folks, because you had practice hours in. Yeah, I never played.
And people were like waiting to play.
Yeah,
yeah, they were like, losers out.
I was 2 square, 4 square. Like I was pretty dope 4 square. Like, but tetherball, heck no. I remember it was like Young June was surprisingly hella good at tetherball too back then.
Yes.
Yes. Like
Monica Kwan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, I couldn't beat you. Like, yeah. So I tried to stay away from tetherball.
You're gonna have to cut that out.
No, we're talking tetherball. It's okay. I think they'll be okay about being dope at tetherball when they were 8 years old, 9 years old.
I would love to get in contact with her and see how she's doing. I don't see her on Facebook or anything.
Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe one day she'll see this, and and then she'll possibly get on.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
What time is it over there?
It's tomorrow.
What? So this is time travel.
Kind of. So we are 21 hours ahead. So we're 3 hours behind, but a day ahead. So it's always weird when I like schedule these too. So, but I'm,
Closer to Friday. Hey.
because I do this, I'm still on the American clock. So like I'm on Wednesday because you're on Wednesday. So I'm like always, because everybody is back home already. So that's why, yeah,
So crazy.
it is. And that's why I'm glad, like, that's what I'm saying. I'm a perfect proponent for Riverside because, like I say, you can do this anywhere in the world. And it's, like I said, if you have decent internet, then you can figure it out. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. So elementary school, Evergreen. Who'd you hang out with in, like in,
Depends on the grade. I remember, I think like in first grade, you remember Joel, right?
yeah. Yeah.
He was so bad. I remember he always got in trouble. And his desk was such a mess. He had like paper clips undone, poked in erasers, and just like
Yeah.
weird stuff. I was like, what is wrong with him?
We saw him randomly in Vegas for James's first random. It was a
Wow.
random.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another like, this is a small world to be out in another random city and then to see another person from high school. That was like, yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And then, dude, Jay plays softball with his family, I guess. So
Who does?
he, Jay,
He plays softball.
yeah, like with his like family and he was like his sister's kids. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
He I think it was, I'm not sure how many years ago it was. It might have been 10. Who knows? But he called me one day and was like, do you want to play? We need a player. And I was like, sure. Oh my God. I was so embarrassed. I sucked so bad. Oh my God. I was like, I just want to go home. He was like, he looked at me and I was like, I know you never want to ask me again. I need to go to the batting cages. I'm sorry, Jay.
Did you play softball?
I did. I played softball all through elementary school,
Okay.
junior high, and I made the sophomore team for fast pitch.
Yeah.
You remember the coach?
No,
What was her name for Spanaway
from
Lake?
fast
She
pitch
had
coach?
short hair. Yeah. Short hair. I forgot her name.
Was she a PE teacher too?
Hmm. Yeah.
I think I seen her in one of the videos. Yes.
But she
Yes.
definitely gave me a hard time because I was working. I was all about that hustle. I was
Yeah.
all about the money, right? I just was
Yeah.
like, let me get out on my own. Let me make my money. So
But
I definitely had to quit. I had to quit fast pitch. And I remember her talking to me,
oh,
where the lockers were, where the basketball court was, and then the lockers were. And we're right there in that hallway. And she was like, where are you going? I was like, I have to quit. Like I have work. I have to go to work. I have to pay for my car. She was like, you're like, what are you doing? Like you could get a
yeah.
scholarship and all these things. And I was like, I got to pay for my car insurance.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So,
Do
yeah.
you regret that?
Yeah. I mean, no, because life is what it is, right?
Yep.
And everything's meant to happen for a reason. But I think I missed out on a lot of opportunities with the people that I started hanging out with, the choices that I was making, things like that. So,
Yeah. You cheered too, didn't you?
yeah.
Wait, so
Hmm.
what years because you cheered all through junior high from what I remember, right?
I
Or,
did. So I
yeah.
made the dance team in 8th grade where we had those
Okay.
really weird ice skating uniforms. Do you remember those?
Yes. That were shiny,
They were
right?
shiny and tight.
Yes.
They were tight.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Way too
surprised
tight
that,
for probably eighth graders too. Yeah. But yeah, it was, I do remember
yeah,
those. Those were a little
risque.
interesting. Yeah.
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 Yeah, let's say that. I mean, if you look at what girls are wearing today, though,
True. 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 True.
yeah. So, but I did that in 7th grade, 8th grade, made the cheerleading team. And then from there on out, I was a cheerleader. I went to Rogers for a short stint in 10th
Wait,
grade.
what? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't know that? Me and Alicia
No.
Harrison, I used to pick her up and then we would go to Rogers, but I really felt like I didn't fit in there.
Okay.
It was predominantly, I mean, if you were ethnic, you had to have been known for playing sports, I felt like.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it was a predominantly white school. I
for sure.
felt out of place. And I
For sure.
remember some girls were like, "Are you Mexican?" I was like, "No, I'm not Mexican." But
Yeah.
I never felt like I fit in. I had overheard Spanaway Lake High School cheerleading tryouts were happening. I was like, that's it. I'm going to go try out and I am going back to Spanaway.
So
And that's what happened. So I think I was there for like a quarter. I did wrestling cheer at Rogers
wait,
for like
what?
wrestling season. Yeah. Me and Alicia Harrison were on the wrestling
That's what
cheer
you
team,
call it.
not wrestling.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, I thought you said you did wrestling slash cheer, but no, you did
No,
cheer during wrestling season. Gotcha.
it was for the
Slash during.
wrestlers specific. They only had it was like your entry level cheerleading.
I didn't know
So
that. See, I love.
yeah,
Yes, they were like, no,
yeah.
we can't have you during basketball games. However, you can show up to the wrestling matches.
So you had to
Wow.
sit like almost Indian
Oh,
style and be like,
yeah, on the ground.
"Hey,"
Yeah.
and we're
Wow. This see, I man, getting so much out of this already. Like, because I didn't know
I
that. I didn't
know.
know that was a thing.
You know
So
what's
wait,
crazy? I was
what's
thinking the
crazy?
same thing. At the end of Jay's podcast, Bree got
Yeah,
on and
yeah.
started talking, and she was like, "Okay, this was not just a male school," and I was like, "I was thinking the same thing."
Well,
I
that's
love
why
Bree.
and that's why this is a very important podcast, is for because you're our first female. You're a proof that I'm not just talking to my boys, and that yeah, I am actually trying to reach out to people from Spanaway, and that that's basically why I made this for is for us, especially our class. So that's why it's like
Yeah.
our class, So, but
Well,
I mean, this is for
I feel
everybody.
special. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I feel, and I'm very thankful. And to all of those, trust me, there's going to be a lot of people who are like, damn, that's dope. April came on. But people are thankful that you are on this podcast specifically. So
Aw.
that's why it's good. Yeah, no, it's dope. It's super dope. But yeah, so no, it was a mixed school. They had females at Spanaway Lake. Is that
Hmm.
what? Yeah. Okay. No, that's good. That's why you're here. So wait, how did that work? So I'm still perplexed about, so the beginning of school year, September, sophomore year, you were at
Hmm.
Spanaway?
No, I was at Rogers.
So
So
oh, okay.
my
Okay.
mom worked literally half a mile away at RV Metal and Supply. She
Okay.
knew the family and she had worked there for like 20 years. She worked there for a really long time, but she used their address and got me to Rogers because she was like, "You need to have a really good education so you can get a scholarship, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
And I went and I just didn't fit in. It was weird. I just was like, who am I right now? Because I'm nobody. And I didn't feel good about that. I couldn't
Mhm.
connect. I feel like I connected with a couple of girls right in the end there, but I don't know. I just was like, I got to go back to my roots.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like there's so many of us that you knew growing up. I mean, if you went to Spanaway Lake after, what is that, 7 years of Evergreen, and then 3 years of, so like that's 10 years already, or 9, 10 years of being in school with like the same people. And then to go somewhere else different that's a huge change.
Well, actually, crazy. I went to Evergreen Elementary, kindergarten through fifth grade. And then sixth grade, the boundaries changed. And so they
Oh,
made me go to Clover Creek.
see,
And
I didn't know that.
I
Okay.
was so upset about it.
Yes.
But little did I know that that was like the best thing that ever happened to me. Like I met my besties that I still talk to
Nice.
at that school.
Like
And I had
who?
the best teacher. I
Yeah.
had Mr. Strickers. I don't know if you heard about him. He was so fun. He would have like, he had this scoreboard, and at the beginning of the week, you'd come into the class and he'd be playing Bruce Springsteen or whatever, and he'd have
Yeah.
like a tape of the week, and you would be
Yeah.
able to win it at the end of the week. And then he would pick teams. Everybody would pick teams while they're coming in on a Monday morning. And you'd just
Yes.
start picking out of the hat or whatever while he's blasting the music. And you'd figure out what team you were on. And you played sports and all the things. And you'd compete against each other with like answering questions. And it was called, Stickle will know this, Stickle and Heidi. And he gave us nicknames. I was
So,
called Pearl of a Girl, and he came up with the coolest nicknames, and he'd put those on our like desk. And
yes.
Heidi was called Heidelberg, and Jenny was called Stickle.
Yes.
It was really cool. He was the best teacher. But yeah,
That's
like
dope.
Holly. I met
That's
Holly
dope.
Freeze.
That's dope.
And to this day, like I still consider her one of my best friends. I remember the day that I met her. I was on the playground and she just came up to me and she goes, I just wanted to meet you because I thought you were really pretty. And I was like, thanks. But then we went to war because she liked Brandon and was going out with him. And
Wow.
they found out that I liked him. And so they played a trick on me. It was bad. And then
Wow.
we were all friends again. You know how it goes when you're like
Yeah. Hey, that's an elementary
young.
school drama. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. But we ended up being best friends. So look at that.
I didn't know that. And then we all went to Cedar Crest together.
Yeah, that was, I think out of all of the years, Cedar Crest was my favorite. Hands down. Like middle school
Why
was
is
my
that?
absolute favorite. Just the connections, the school. I think it was really new at that time. I'm very
Yeah.
obsessed with like new or renovated stuff.
Yeah. I
A
mean,
little bougie when it comes to that.
yeah.
But just the people, the teachers.
Is that Cedar Crest too?
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of great people I met.
Yeah. And like you said, I'm really like same thing, like with elementary school, I'm still pretty tight with a lot of people that I met in elementary school. So like James, Robert.
Daniel, Robert,
Yeah.
all of them
Yeah.
I went to elementary with. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember
I know.
every one of
Small
them.
window. Okay. There we go. Okay. Can you see that?
It's, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, let me put my old lady readers on. Yes. There's Holly. Were they
There's
funny? Most
Holly.
unique.
Most
Yeah.
unique.
There's Holly right
Yes.
there. Yep.
And then there's you.
There's me. Crazy.
This was 30 years because this was ninth grade. So this is ninth grade. Yeah.
That's
But
so crazy. That's when Holly still went to school. She hated school.
a
She
lot of
hated
people
it.
hated school. So, you know,
But she was so smart. She was street smart, and I was book
yeah.
smart.
Yeah. Crazy, huh? That was a crazy,
Mm-hmm.
crazy time.
And Jay was like the only reason I kept advancing in math. I mean,
Really?
special shout out to Jay. Yeah, I would just be like, help me, Jay. And he would help me. He was like, and he would get so annoyed. He'd be like, seriously, April, how are you not getting this? I was like, can you just explain it one more time?
It's
And he would.
hilarious.
He was so patient with me. And he's the reason why I got to pre-calculus. So special shout out to Jay.
Shout out to Jay, man. Jay Nolner.
I probably should not have gotten to pre-calculus, but
Yeah.
I did.
No, that's dope. That's why I feel like some of these memories are just hilarious. So it's just like,
I
man.
know. Me and
So,
Jay and Randy, we were the homies in our early 20s.
yeah.
We used to kick it hard.
Okay, we'll
Yeah,
get
they
there.
taught
We'll
me to
get there.
snowboard.
Oh, yeah. Man, Jay's really good at that, like helping people to snowboard. Because
Yeah.
the first
No, it was
time I
Randy that
snowboarded,
taught me.
I mean,
Because
Jay
Jay
kind of helped
left
me the
us.
first.
He definitely left me. He was
That's
like,
funny.
yeah.
That's funny because one of the first times I went snowboarding was the same time period. It was like in 2000. We had gone to Whistler actually, and there was a group of us, and what you call it? We had it was my first time, but I was kind of picking it up. But then man, Jay helped me out a lot, and he actually, yeah, no, he was like one of the people that actually stayed behind and kind of helped me out, which I was surprised that he didn't just dip out and leave me. So. Such
That's
a
crazy
random.
because my teacher was terrible. Love you, Randy. But, and you know, back in the day, we used to kick it. We used to,
Hard, tough.
Mary Jane
Yes.
and all the stuff, right?
For sure.
We get up on the top of the hill and he's like, okay, go for it. Like, go. I literally I was going straight down and he was like, get your legs in front of you. Because I was going
Yeah.
so fast. And I
Yeah.
literally went into all of the, what do you call the snow where it's just powder?
Yeah,
And I
powder.
literally
Yeah,
just, I was in like 3 feet of powder. I
that's a
had to
good
like,
place to be, though.
it was bad. I was like scared for my life. I was, never again. Can we go on the bunny slope?
Yeah,
Because this is crazy. But
yeah,
better, a little bit better.
yeah. No, that's dope. That I mean, that if you want to crash, I think powder is the best place to be if you're
It's
going to
true.
crash versus trees and other,
Yeah.
obstacles that are out there. So
He was
no,
laughing really hard when he caught up to me. And I was like, this is it.
yeah.
Almost died.
Yeah, that's man, I'm still tripping that you like went to Rogers during that first part of sophomore year. I'm still like kind of blown away. And then you did all those activities. So did like your parents come to all your activities?
I had more of it was my mom. My mom and my dad got divorced when I was 9, and my dad was, in the military.
Yep,
Basically,
yep.
I think what ultimately broke them up is she loved Washington and she didn't want to
Mm,
travel anymore. And she wanted to
hmm.
raise us girls in the same
In
place. And
Washington.
she she was really like a firm believer in family is everything, and she grew up in the military herself, and they traveled a lot, and she really wanted us girls to be able to make friends for life. So she
Mm,
really stood her ground on that, and my dad had to travel. He didn't have a choice. So
yeah.
eventually they divorced. They were together for like 15 years. They were together when they were like 18. It was
Mm,
crazy.
yeah.
But my mom worked a lot, and it's crazy because I work a lot, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I am like going right in her footsteps right now. It's crazy.
You said you girls, so you have siblings?
I do. I have the OG, I call them my OG sisters because both of my parents eventually remarried and had kids on each side. So the OG sisters are Angie and then
Gotcha.
Cinnamon. So Angie's
Oh,
the oldest, and then Cinnamon, and then me.
okay. How much
And
older
then
were they than you?
Angie's 4 years, and then
Okay, yeah.
Cinnamon was 2, 18
Okay.
months really, and we
And you guys are
hated
all
each
three
other.
kind of right. I was gonna say that is a good age to like you guys are all like so close to each other. So I could
So
see some
close,
battles
but
happening
oh yeah, me and Cinnamon,
close in age.
yeah,
So it
yeah.
allows for you guys to compete and argue and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
lots of fights at home, and my mom was working all the time, so Angie had to take care of us, and me and Cinnamon would fight all the time,
Wow.
all the time.
Yeah. And then it sounded like you were gonna say, I think the rest of yours.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
my mom, when I was like 17, I found out my mom was pregnant. I've always wanted to be a mom. I've always loved children, and her and the father of her soon to be child. Um, he wasn't sure if he wanted to have it, da, 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 da. And I was just like, I just remember exactly where I was sitting in the living room with my little cordless house phone. And I was like, Mom, it doesn't matter. I will help you take care of this baby. You
Wow.
are going to have this baby. I'll be there for you. And that little miracle is, I think she's like 26 now, but she's like my second, like, she's like my baby. She was like my baby,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
there's the fourth, but I don't like, she technically is my half sister, but we were in the same womb. So I feel like that counts
Yeah,
as a full sister.
for sure. For sure.
But yeah, that's my baby.
And then you're in Arizona. Where do your do you see your sisters at all? Like how often do you and where are they at?
We,
Like just curious.
so Cinnamon and Cheyenne's the youngest one,
Youngest. Okay.
live in Washington State.
Sweet.
Angie lives in Florida, and I live here.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
So you guys are kind of
So
spread out. You're kind of in the middle.
yeah, I
Nice.
actually came over here um because my grandparents were getting very, very old. Like my grandma was passing away, and then my grandpa was left, and my mom had already passed in August 2020. But
Mm,
big piece of me is I've always wanted to live in Arizona, and I just so happened to receive an offer like 2 hours after my grandma passed. And I was like, this is a sign. I'm going, bought a house, and
yeah.
came out here. So my aunt still lives here.
What was the infatuation with Arizona? Like always wanting to live there?
We grew up driving down from, it was like
Okay.
our summer thing. We would drive down from Washington. On my dad's side, my grandparents lived in Santa Maria, California. So we'd stop there
Gotcha.
first. We'd go to Disneyland, and this was every summer for a few years. And then we would go to Arizona, and we'd end our summer there, swimming and being at my grandparents' house. So I've always had an infatuation for Arizona.
Yeah. Damn, I could see that. That's I think that's a lot of what you call it? Is that snowbirds have places
Yes.
in
Yeah.
Arizona from Seattle
I wish I was
specifically.
rich and I could be a snowbird someday.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of I want to say Billy's parents have a house out there in Arizona too or something like that, or I don't know, something like that. But just I know a few people who's that's that's one of the places Seattle people like to go to. And I've only been once, and hey, I could see the appeal. And it was during, I think it was during November too. So like these winter months. Well, yeah, like so. What's the weather like right during this time? Like what was the
It's
weather today? It's late February.
it just started heating up. Like now
Oh,
I'm like, oh my God, I gotta start wearing dresses, short sleeves. I need to get a pedicure this weekend. Like it's getting serious right now. It just started getting in the 80s. But in the morning, it's like 50 degrees, and it gets to like 40 degrees in the wintertime in the morning. But then it always warms up to like 65, 75 in the winter.
when's the last time? Do you use your heater every night? Do you turn the heater
Oh,
on?
absolutely not.
When's the last time you used
Well,
the heater?
okay. Well, to be fair, I am always cold, so I have a portable heater.
I mean, that count. Yeah, that's
I use
different than
that
using the.
heater, but
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
just, it's getting warm. It is getting
Yeah.
warm. But
You
when
don't
you
have
use
to
the
use it as
AC,
much. Yeah.
no. But when you use AC in Arizona, your electric bill is like $450 a month for your house.
Whoa.
So I try to hold off on using it until like the latest possible in the year. But I have a roommate who is like, he will sweat a lot. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to compromise a little bit, and I probably have to
Sure.
start turning it on a little bit probably around now. And I usually don't turn it on until like July.
Okay.
So
Damn. Dang. You because I used to live in Vegas, very similar, and man, and we
yeah.
started turning it on in like April, May, April, May. But and then we rarely use the heat and like we would but so you don't really use the heat during the winter because of your personal heater. You don't use the house heat.
No, yeah. No. And I like to be cold when I sleep, so I always
Same.
have the fan on. Even if it's like 60 degrees. I like to be bundled up. I don't like to be hot when I'm sleeping.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. That's
Yeah. But I'm always freezing during the day.
yeah.
And they have the AC cracking here all the time in all the stores and stuff. And I'm like, it's so silly because you'll be like dying of a heat stroke outside, and then you'll go in to a store and be freezing. So you have to like have a jacket no matter where you are, even if it's hot outside.
Wow.
That's how I feel anyway.
Yeah.
But I
And
run
what
cold.
no, that's understandable. That's all makes sense. So what year did you move down there again? What year was that?
February 2022, right around Valentine's Day.
Okay. Oh, so you've been there 3 years roughly now.
3 years officially now. Yeah, it's
And then
crazy.
before that, were you in Washington State that whole time after
Born and
high school?
raised.
Wow. So when you left to go to Arizona, move to Arizona, that's your first time leaving
Yeah.
Washington, basically.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome.
I was like, if I don't do it now, I'm never going to do it. Just do it. Just do
Yeah.
it. YOLO.
Yeah. And then how do you feel about that 3 years later? Yeah,
Oh
3 years later.
gosh. I absolutely love it. I wish my family would come visit me more. I have to go see them, I feel like, all the time. But
Numbers game, numbers game. It's
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 fine.
cheaper for because that's just how it sometimes works. And then
That's true.
the peer pressure of all them hassling you to go. Yeah, I know how that works. That's dope. You wish you could have. So when you were in Washington, what areas did you stay close to Spanaway? Like what
Would
does
I
that?
visit?
Yeah, like like were you still around? Were you close? Like what does Spanaway in particular actually mean to you? This is like maybe a good time for
Oh
that
my God.
question. Like when people say Spanaway, do you
Home.
yeah,
Like
okay.
cozy memories. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happened, good and bad, but I met
It's life though.
so many cool people. Like, and so many, I feel like out of any area I've ever lived in or been in, Sway is like the most inclusive. Like, you could be in so many different groups and cliques, but everybody welcomed you for the most part. I mean, there was those
Yeah.
bullies and whatnot, but I feel like most of the time it didn't matter. It didn't matter if you were in band or you were a cheerleader. We all treated each other with respect for the most part, and we're like open arms. You know what I mean? Like, and I loved that about Spanaway.
For sure. Yeah, and then kind of like you touched on it already, it's very multicultural. So it was like that
Mhm.
was just kind of what we're used to, just being around people that are different from you. So that's just the normal
Mhm.
thing. And yeah, that's why I'm like, I have a special place in my heart for Spanaway. Do you go back to like obviously you're moved away
Yes.
now, but before like how often would you go
Yeah.
back to Spanaway? And like what are your thoughts of it now or now more recent? Because I haven't been back in a
No,
while
it's
myself, but
so I overheard you, I think it was you and Jay talking about it's like 8 Mile, or is that Robert or
DJ.
DJ? Yeah, it's so true. So true. Like, it's
Wow, how
turned.
so?
The tables have turned. I think just
Wow.
because, it was new. It was a new area and it was
Development, yeah.
developing,
Yeah,
and that's new shiny things with any area. It's always going to be like the talk of the town and brand new, yay, and
yeah,
jobs coming in. But now it's kind of, it's very worn, very distressed.
yeah.
A lot of transients, a lot of uh
Wow.
drug areas, things like that. So,
Wow. Yeah, and then like I said, like when you search Spanaway, that's kind of all you see is
mhm.
like basically crimes and stuff like that. So that was another point of why I wanted to do this is just to have something else people could search for when they search Spanaway because it wasn't always like that, and there's still a lot of good I feel like that come from Spanaway. Like produced a bunch of us, and I feel like a lot of us are really good contributing members of society. So
Right. Absolutely.
yeah. So
We
then,
just had to venture out of Spanaway a bit to make some money for jobs.
so like when you ventured out, what parts of Washington did you stay in? Like,
Man, I've lived everywhere and I've worked everywhere. With multifamily, you have one of the perks of the job is you can live on site and get a discount, a housing discount. So I lived that up in my early 20s and stuff.
yeah,
So every property I worked at, I lived at, because
nice.
you'd get like 20% discount or something like that. And
And
when
that's
you're in your
usually
early
people's biggest
20s,
bills too. That's usually people's biggest
yeah,
bills, right? So then
yeah,
20%
and you
off
could
of
walk
your
to
biggest
work,
bill. Oh yeah, dude,
right? And
that's
you
win,
walk
win,
to
win,
work,
win.
no gas, right?
Yeah,
So I lived in Federal Way, I lived in Auburn, I lived in Mercer Island. That was my favorite place. I lived
right on.
in Tacoma. We lived in downtown Tacoma at
I like
Chelsea
downtown
Heights.
Tacoma. Yeah.
Very close to what is the bad part? It starts with a C.
Not sure. I remember there's uh, James lived in Thea's Landing. It's not really downtown, but right there in
So that's a
Tacoma.
nice part of downtown.
Yeah,
That's
but
like by the water.
yeah, but that's still downtown. And I don't know. I have I got my first job was in downtown Tacoma, so that's why I kind of like have a soft spot for downtown Tacoma. I used to work for my first job was for this congressman, and I was on the campaign staff, and our office was in downtown Tacoma, and it
That's
wasn't
cool.
yeah, it was pretty. It's what you call it when somebody, when a family member hooks you up with a job, it was basically that was how I got hooked up. But yeah, no, so that's why. And then like I loved going to all the restaurants down there, and like I would sneak into some places just because everybody I worked with was over 21, so it was just just go to like all these random spots down there. So, but What was your first job? Was it that
Man.
one for
So
sophomore
I was
year?
one of the KFC girls.
Okay,
Angie, my
okay.
oldest sister, referred me. When I gave
Nice.
my resume to the manager, she goes, Crawl, are you related to Angie Crawl? And I was like, yeah, that's my older sister. She was like, hired because my older
Nice.
sister was a workhorse. So
Nice. Did you
I
take
worked
home a
there
lot
for
of
like
KFC?
2 years. Heck
Nice.
yeah. I was like,
Nice.
you're just gonna. So the guy manager, his name was Rod. He was super cool,
Nice.
very nice. And he's like, we're supposed to throw that away. And I was like, yeah, but we
That
could take
sounds
it
so
home.
exactly.
So yeah, I
That
would take
feels
home the
so
macaroni and
oh,
cheese. I would take home like 2 big buckets of fried chicken. It gets
yeah,
tiring after you eat it all the
for
time,
sure, for sure, for sure.
but it
But
was good.
yeah, especially if it's like as tiring
It's
as it
free.
is, it's free. Yeah. It's so even like as tired as you can be, you're still gonna get hungry. So like it's hard to
Man,
just be
those
like,
biscuits though, those hot
yes,
biscuits fresh out the oven. I even got to go in the back and learn how to like do the mashed potatoes and the biscuits.
okay,
Like I earned my seniority so I could work days
nice.
eventually. But then I moved on to Top Foods.
Right on. Yeah, because I still love KFC to this day. Like those, like all those things, like biscuits with butter and honey. Man, I'll still smash on those. So
I used to mix my macaroni salad with the baked beans and dip it in the chicken. It was so bomb and dip it in the chicken strips. We used to come up with some crazy concoctions when you worked there.
hey, and then you're trying to be creative, and then you're just bored. So like all that combined, it's like
And then you get hungry from looking at all that food
exactly,
all the time.
exactly. It was funny you said that your favorite place to stay in out of all those places was Mercer Island. Why was that?
Beautiful. It's very bougie, but you're on an island. Like, how
Yeah,
could you not love it? You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And it was a nice area, a really nice area.
Were you on the water? Like, was your place that you stayed in, was that on the water at all? Or
No, we were surrounded by water, though.
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because we were on the island. But it was a mid-rise building, very fancy, right off the freeway.
Nice.
Pool. And, not a lot of places have pools
Yeah.
in Washington State. It's very common here, but it wasn't so much there. And it was like you had this big courtyard with all these apartments, and then right in the middle was the pool. And it had
Oh,
elevators and all the things. It was very fancy.
was the pool like kind of a social spot? Or
Oh,
was
yeah.
it
We
just,
used to all kick it there. That's where I
oh,
met
yeah.
Ken's girlfriend, Tawny, for the first time.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I threw a potato at Chris. I can't remember why, but I threw a potato at him. And he still will talk about it to this day. And I'm like, I don't even remember why I threw the potato at him because he cracked a joke. And you know how Chris
Inappropriate joke.
is.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he
He'll
always
probably be
tries.
on this show one day. So yeah.
To this day, he just likes to get a rise out of me. So he'll just say stupid stuff in front of people, and then I have to like throw something at him or say
Yeah.
something even better.
Yeah. So that, after high school then, where were you at? Where were you staying at around that time?
So in my
Like
early,
right
like
after high school. Yeah.
I
Late
moved out,
teens,
thought I
early
was like a
20s.
big stud, and moved out to my first apartment with Holly. Actually, this is kind of a sad deal, but we had a birthday party. I had a birthday party, and that's when we started hanging out, I would say, with different
Yeah.
crowds.
Okay. Yeah.
And my boyfriend was Jordan at the time, and then they brought something happened. I had like Winnie the Pooh birthday cake. So I was not trying to kick it like that. Like I was not trying to have a party the way it
Wait,
went
so
down.
what birthday? Like how old were you turning?
I think I was might have been 19 or 20.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
And it was 19,
Pre
2019
21 for
or
sure.
219. It was
1990.
19. Yeah. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? It was in the
No.
newspaper and everything.
No. I
Yeah.
mean, I knew something or yeah, I didn't
It
realize.
was terrible. Let's just say it was terrible. It was not meant to go down like that. There was an altercation. We all left. We all skirted out of there. We ended up having to leave out of our apartment after that. We didn't get a bad verification, but yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy. It was in the news.
Whoa, like in
There's
your
like a
hold
newspaper
up.
clipping.
Yeah,
I know,
in
it's
the
crazy,
apartment that
right?
you lived in the actual apartment or in
Yeah,
the
it
apartment
was a duplex.
building.
It was my birthday party. It was a house. It was a duplex. And it was me and Holly. We got our
Oh
first
my
apartment.
God, that's
Yeah. And
crazy.
those people that showed up were not even invited. Like
Yeah,
this turned out to be this party that wasn't even like I hadn't even
yeah,
invited these people. And people
yeah.
just showed up. And there was an altercation and then a gun went off and then he
It always,
died.
damn, that amazes me when
It
people
was
show
so
up back
sad.
then. Yeah,
It was so sad because it was terrible. I remember me and Jordan drove right to my mom's house and we just stayed the night there. And my mom was like, "Why are you guys here? You have your own apartment, like duplex." And
not
I was like,
really, not really. Yeah,
and because I just didn't want to be there because I knew the cops were coming and I bounced. I was like,
yeah,
I'm scared. So I went home to mommy, the safe place when you're
yeah.
19 and don't know what to do, you know?
Speaking of sad things, where were you at on 9/11?
Oh my God. I was living in my house, my mom's house. I think I was going to college at that time.
Nice. So you're actually
Was
back in Spanaway.
Yeah, I was in Spanaway. And my mom had allowed me to rent the room downstairs in the den. And I just remember I worked nights. I worked at the casino. So when I woke up, I think either
Which one?
Holly or somebody texted me or called me and told me about it. I think they called me because back then we didn't really have phones with text.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, what were you asking?
What casino did you work at?
Oh, which casino did I not work at? I was
Okay.
a casino girl. I worked at Muckleshoot first, and I worked in probably every department there. I started out as a hostess with the mostess at Kookaburras. That's back when they had Kookaburras restaurant. And then they built a deli, and I ended up being a cook, line cook in the deli.
Okay.
And then after that, I started. Okay, it's going to sound like an STD, but it's not. It's a VGD,
VGD.
video game. I don't know what the D standard for, but we'd basically walk around and give people tickets, slot machine tickets,
Okay.
and then and if they won, we had our regulars, and if they won, they would tip us big. I made
Yeah.
so much money back then.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
dope.
So I
And
worked at Muckleshoot for
if
like
you
two and a
never
half
said
years.
that about VGD, I would have never thought that, by the way. That's just like, it's funny how, like,
It's
when you,
weird.
I didn't think that was a lot. It's the,
You're like,
anyways,
I'm
but no.
cutting that out.
Yeah. I mean, I might, because it's like, I would never think that, right? I mean, it's
It's
such
so
a
weird.
random,
We used to
it's a
all
weird
joke about
acronym.
it, though. We used to
Yeah.
all joke. Everybody that worked in that department would be like, no, it doesn't mean that.
Yeah. No.
It's definitely an inside joke.
Yeah. Well, because I feel like maybe I've seen you. Did you deal at all? I thought you were, did you ever deal? No. Okay.
No, I never dealt because you had to take classes and
Yeah.
get a certification. And a
I've
lot of
always
those
wanted to
regulars
deal.
would blow like a lot of smoke and cigar smoke in your face. And it was just like,
True that. Yep.
you used to deal?
No, no, no. I always wanted to deal. That was like, I mean, who knows? I still might. Like, I don't know. It's just, I think that's, I like playing cards. I like
I do
shuffling them and stuff.
too.
So,
If I
what,
had like a group of guys that wanted to like be like, oh, we're gonna play poker, we're gonna have poker night, I would totally be down.
I mean, what about non-poker games?
Any kind of card
Like
games.
what?
I grew up playing cards. My mom taught me how to like shuffle when I was like 4.
What?
So we come from a gambling background.
Yeah, it's kind of similar. Like my parents used to always play poker, like with their friends,
Yeah.
and
Gin
y-
rummy, gin,
yeah,
and spades when we were like
oh, one of my
partying
favorite.
days. Oh, I love
Yeah,
playing spades. If you
yeah.
ask Chris, he'll tell you I suck at it, but he obviously hates,
He says
like,
you're a terrible partner.
I mean, obviously we're divorced, but
Yeah. One of my
good peeps.
proudest.
Special shout out to Chris.
Special shout out to Chris. Don't worry, you'll have your time on this program. So, what you call it? One of my proudest moments playing spades. I was me and Jay, and we were playing against his dad because they are serious card players too, like spades. And
Nice.
so, but yeah, we had we played his dad and one of his dad's friends, and we smoked them, and it was like one of
Nice.
my proudest moments. It's like, yeah, Jay's probably one of my favorite partners when it comes to spades. If we were to like try to pick partners and stuff. But to be honest, like that's what me and like a lot of our friends love to do. So it's like me, Daniel, Tim, DJ, like we could sit around and play cards forever. And so, and not just poker,
I
like,
love cards.
yeah,
I love
same. So that's partly why I'm like, man, I love cards so much. I think I might be okay as a dealer just because I like being around it. And so yeah, that's why I thought that's kind of
You
funny.
can
So
unofficially deal with your friends when you play,
for sure.
you get your own
Yeah.
table and be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
deal
And
for money.
yeah, because I
If
like
the
doing
house
all of that.
wins, you get
Yeah.
the money. Be like, hey, if the
True
house
that. True
wins, I
that.
get the money.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you remember the first time you got email?
Oh my God.
Remember your
No.
first email? No, yeah, that's what.
Oh my
That's a
God.
crazy
Do you
question
remember
because it's
AOL?
yeah, I
Ding, ding.
remember
I don't even
AOL. I
remember
didn't really use it
the
properly though.
in the
Like
chat rooms.
I did because no, you're right. I had an AOL name. I had I not forgot what it was, and it was something dumb, But
I
yeah,
don't even remember.
you don't even remember your first email.
MySpace. Remember when MySpace came out and
That
you
was my
could do your
that was my
whole
next
like,
question. That was my next question. Was MySpace your first social media?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it was my second. It was, and you were going to, and this is what was kind of cool that it turned everybody into kind of like mini website developers because you could design the page, right? Is that
Pick
where
your
you're going to go?
music, your
Pick your
page, yeah, your
yes.
background, yes.
I thought that was kind of cool because it forced everybody to like learn how to do like you had to like copy a code, right? And then you
Mm-hmm.
had to like paste it inside of MySpace. And then it was cool because when people showed up to your page, you could have your favorite
I
song
miss that.
playing.
I mean,
Yeah.
come on, Facebook, take some notes. Like, I miss that because it was like your page. It was very authentic. It was
Yeah.
you. It kind of like just like built a picture of who you were. You know what I mean?
Well, I think things sometimes I think that might come back, and
That'd be
I
awesome.
don't know if Facebook is going to do it,
Let's
but
create it. Nope.
that's when I was, serious. Well, did you also see there's like, there's this thing called vibe coding. Have you ever heard of vibe coding? It's like
Mm-mm.
people becoming software, like writing code software, like being developers. And
Mm.
they're typing in or whatever. They don't know any type of code, but they can build apps and games and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I think there's a way, like you don't have to get like a software engineering degree these days to like build stuff. It might not be the
You
best.
know,
Yeah. And so it
it's
might not be
crazy. AI is nuts. We could go on a whole
exactly
tangent about
for
AI,
sure.
but let
For
me tell
sure.
you, Chat GPT,
Yeah.
that's good for writing
Is that,
emails. I'll tell you that right now.
well, you want to hear another one that's good? You know who I
Yeah.
think is better for writing emails?
What?
Have you heard of Claude? Anthropic?
No.
There's called
Okay, I'm about
Claude
to
is
write this. I'm about to write
yeah,
this
write this
down.
down. No, write this down. No, write this
Is
all
it
down.
free? Is it
It's
free though?
free.
Because
There's a
I'm
free yeah.
frugal.
Yeah, it's free. It's free. Although the next
Claude?
two things, yeah, Claude, Claude.
And what's the other one?
Well, I think they're owned by a company called Anthropic. I might be wrong, but it's like Claude/Anthropic. All you need to know is Claude free. But Claude is a better writer than ChatGPT. Like
Okay.
like
Well, I'm
if
down.
you can give it examples of your writing and you can tell it to like, I think ChatGPT can do it as well, but Claude does a better job of it. You can say, hey, write this email like I write my emails. And then you just give it a bunch of your emails and then it'll be like, oh, okay. It's learned how you write emails. And so, but it's just, I think they're just so good when it comes to writing. And then the other one, and I was just telling Jay Thomas today about this. There's a website too that I use more so instead of Google, and it's Perplexity. Have you heard of Perplexity AI?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So I use them a little bit more than Google now. They're like for search, same thing, free AI. It's amazing. And like,
I'm writing these down.
yeah, Perplexity actually, like if you ask Google a question, it'll give you a list of websites that it thinks that can answer your question. But if you ask Perplexity a question, it'll try to answer your question and then it'll give you links. So yeah, like Perplexity reminds me of like Ask Jeeves. I don't know if you ever used Ask Jeeves
Mm-mm.
like back in the day. It was another search engine like in the early 2000s, but Google ended up winning that space for search. And so, yeah, those two are like some of my go-tos.
So my roommate is really techie.
Yeah.
and he has these Ray-Bans that he
with
could
the
literally
Facebook?
click on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he got them on Marketplace for a really good deal. He can
Yeah.
literally, he's like on the phone. Nobody else can hear the conversation but him. And
Oh,
I'm like, I have to ask him. I'm like, are you on the phone? I just need to know, like, am I talking to you right now or is
yeah.
somebody else talking to you? But also, he's
Have you
very
put them on?
techy.
Have you
He
put them
has
on?
what? Yeah,
The
I tried him out. I was like, they're so cool. And then he has this Google. He's big into Google. He has all the gadgets for Google. And there's this Google thing where he will literally say what he wants to learn about or talk about. And then there will be two individuals, like a guy and a girl, like they're on a radio show or a podcast.
That's
And he'll
Notebook
ask them
LM.
questions.
Yeah. That's the
It's
other AI
freaking
tool.
nuts. That was freaking nuts. I was like, this is so weird.
It's called Notebook LM. And, they have now a feature, and I talked about this briefly in another, not on the podcast, but on my YouTube channel. So with Notebook LM, what they do is you could upload other YouTube videos, and then you can upload PDFs. You can upload to like 50
Excel
of them.
spreadsheets. Yeah.
Exactly. And then, right, you have the two voices talking, but what's added now is you can talk to those two people and they'll respond to you. Like you can ask them. Yes. So it's weird. Like you can
That's
have
what he was doing.
see, that's
It was
crazy.
nuts.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. That's so amazing. Yeah. That's so amazing. Cause like you can
cool,
build,
but kind of creepy. It's scary too at the same time.
you can make content like that basically. So like by yourself, you can have like, I'm so thankful that you're joining the Swayside Connection podcast. Cause it's like, it's dope. Two people connecting, right? But it's like, man, you can just be one person connecting with AI and it does all these like kind of crazy things and stuff like that. So yeah,
it's nuts.
It is nuts. Yeah, but did you have any favorite classes, teachers?
Man. So Mr. Strickers in 6th grade was phenomenal. There is no teacher that could ever
That's
compare.
your number one overall.
If you need to get Stickle on here and Heidi. I don't know her last name.
Do you talk to them still?
Yeah. I mean,
you have a better chance. You'll have a better chance of getting them to come on. Hey, because open invite, I'm open invite. And I go off of like, because I don't want to hunt people down, and I don't want to like haggle people. Like, if you don't want to be on, it's all good. You don't have to be on. Like,
Stickle will come on. She'll come on.
Okay. Yeah, I hope
She'll
so. That'd be
definitely
tight.
come on. I mean, I haven't talked to her in a while, but all I have to do is message her. Jonah would probably come on too.
Yeah, I'm down for all of them. Like, because
I'll tell you, they are
just message them.
They are so fun to kick it with. I met them at I didn't even know they were going to be there. It was like 7 years ago, and we were at a reggae concert in downtown Seattle, and I saw them, Jonah and Stickle, and I was like, they're so funny. Those two are hilarious together.
That was the last time I seen both of them too. Literally at
it wasn't. Was I there? I don't know.
You might have been, but that was the one that I think. To be honest, I think it might have been a show in Tacoma. I think it was a reggae show in Tacoma.
So I think it was a different. No, this was definitely Seattle because it was right next. I feel like it was right by that Deja fence.
Yeah, that's Showbox. You were at Showbox for sure. Then I was probably there. Yeah, I might have been there. If it was 7 years ago, yeah, I was most likely there.
Who knows? My brain is foggy.
Because that's where, me and Jay go to those all the time. Like, I'll see Jay at a lot of those, like, planned and unplanned. And so it was one of those nights I remember seeing those. It was, like I said, I can't remember exactly the venue, but I seen both of them at one of those events too. I think it was a different night, obviously, than your night. But, same thing. No, it was hella fun. It was always great.
Yeah, they're good peeps.
And then that vibe is so dope too. Super chill. Everybody's having a good time, and it's like no drama and good music, so yeah.
Speaking of, I feel like we've got to do a reunion sometime soon, like with everybody,
Well, it is coming up to the 30. So this is what I think we can use this podcast for, to plan for our 30th, because it's 2025, right? So 2028 is right around the corner. We can use this to kind of plan a big one. But in the meantime, because what I've really noticed this podcast is doing is getting people to actually talk offline. Because like there's random people that I know that have like been in touch with each other that I would never think would be in touch with each other. So, and I'm like, oh, that person, you talked to that person? I haven't heard from that person. And so, and I think, yeah, but I love it 1,000%. Are you inviting everybody to come to Arizona? Is that what you're doing?
No,
Or
I mean, they
no,
couldn't fit in this house,
immediate no,
but
no, no. But you could still have like an event there because Arizona is a dope place to kind of meet up at. I mean, I
you
think we're
know,
going towards the season where
you already know we have so many people from Swaytown that will not go anywhere. They are locals and they refuse to fly. There's so many that will not travel. You already know. If we want to have a
sure,
party, a dope
sure.
party, we're going to have to do it in Washington.
No, but
And it's got to be in
what
the
I
summer.
yes, what I am saying though is as we approach the big reunion of the 30 year, right? Because we're 98 and 2028 is coming up. I think in the meantime, we can have smaller reunions where, pockets of us maybe go to Arizona, because I already know like that would be a good time.
In
And like
Vegas.
yeah, anything, San Francisco, whatever, just different
Yeah.
areas that are maybe like, that
I'm always down. YOLO is my lifestyle
because you're the
at
first
this
person
point.
that doesn't live in Washington that I'm interviewing right now. Like you're the first
Yay.
girl. You're like the first. You're crossing off a lot of boxes, right? And so yeah, no, that's why it's dope, man. That's
Appreciate
why I'm
that.
so thankful. That's why I'm so thankful to have you kind of on
Oh,
here,
I'm
and
so thankful to be here.
yeah. So it's definitely one of those things where it's it's just dope. It's a dope.
It brings up like such good memories. Like it just makes my heart happy to be on this. So I appreciate you.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, this probably won't appeal to a lot of like random people that are on the internet, because you can watch a lot of stuff
Mhm.
on YouTube. But to the people that it does pertain to, man, everybody's going to be excited. Like, trust me, I know the excitement level when they see you, like in the thumbnail and just you, like, you know, on this episode. People are going to be hyped.
Stop it. You're being so
Oh, I'm just being
sweet.
real. I'm being 1,000% real because like I think you help legitimize the podcast that it's not just Heinz's friends or whatever or guys. It's not just a thing like that. It's like no, I'm really trying to get out there and you know and basically it's open invite. Like man, if you're from Spanaway, there's no rules to this, right? I think I said that
Yeah.
hey, I'm just trying to do my class first, but that's it. Like okay, I've got my class kind of is kind of going through them already, so I just wanted to
Yeah.
get some of my people out of the way in our class and just honor our class first. And then, but yeah, man, I'm ready to open these gates up. So if you want to come on this show, kind of, because I heard April, because Jay said you were down to come on. I was like, she is? I was like, all right, let's set something up.
Like,
And then,
yeah, let's do it.
yeah, so that's, because like I said, it's just super fun. And it's just one of those things where it's, a lot of times people don't get a chance to really come on podcasts and be themselves. And, it's cool. It's just something to do. And like, what I hope it does too is inspire, because there's no way the time that it takes to like, coordinate and then edit and to get these out, there's no way I could get so many people on that maybe want to be on one. So I'm like, I
Mhm.
hope this inspires other classes to
Yeah,
possibly
for
start something
sure.
similar, so that, and then we could do some cross pollination, right? We can, I'll come
Yes.
on that show if you need help starting out and like, so because this is, hey, like anything, all these things can be copied and like the internet's a large place. And so, there's no like ownership for any of this. Like anybody can do this from any year, like, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
because we're just a
Our
random,
year was the best.
I mean,
1998.
that's why we're starting this thing. Our year started this thing. If it wasn't for, Jay giving me this idea and me actually putting it into place and then people actually responding to texts and stuff. So that's why it's like, man, all these things need to kind of come together for this to happen. So
Thank you for
yeah,
thinking of this and
no,
doing this. Like,
yeah, no
this is
worries.
awesome.
Yeah. I mean, then like I said, I hope it inspires people to start maybe not even a podcast like this, but anything, YouTube channel,
Yeah.
because I think I think what this also does is, some people just aren't on social media that much, but they'll sit down and listen to a podcast and kind of catch up with people and like listen to their stories and stuff. So that's why
So I have a question for you.
yeah, what's up?
What is the difference between a vlog and a podcast?
Vlog is more like a day in the life, like you'll record yourself walking, you'll record
Got
and
it.
then the weird ones is like, you'll have the camera set up on like a tripod and then you walk in front of it and then you got to go grab your camera again. But that's just the artistic part of doing a vlog, right? A lot of it's like behind the scenes stuff. A lot of it's like, it's like sort of like people do daily vlogs, which are like daily, like day in the life type
That's a
of
lot of
stuff.
work.
It is. A vlog is different. And then you can have voiceover, and that's the artistic part of vlogs is like you can kind of make it your own. You can do a voiceover, you can do no voiceover, you can add music. It's kind of like, this is kind of what my life is like. So then podcasts is just sit down and you talk, and then you just kind of catch up with
Yeah.
people. And I think
I think I like podcasts better.
I think for our age group, I think for everybody that's in their 40s, so from 40 to 50, I think like we're in that like
I'm
podcast
25.
era.
I don't know what you're talking about. No.
Wink, wink, wink. But I think that, I think for our age group, it really hits because this is kind of like the type of information we like to consume. Like we are like, podcasts are a little bit more palatable to our age group, and we can consume the TikTok and like the 30-second, 10-second bites, 5-second bites. We can still consume. I mean, we do, but I think when it comes to like entertainment, I think we'd rather digest information like this. So unlike because I was saying, this is basically the same thing as Facebook, right? If people,
Mhm.
but this is long form Facebook for people is like you could sit down and
Well, it's
actually,
live. It's live,
I mean, it's
right?
recorded still. No, it's
But it's
recorded. I
still
mean,
kind of live. It still feels kind of live. Like we're live interacting right now,
yeah,
even though it's recorded.
but only we see it live because it's actually
Sure.
everybody is seeing this after. Like nobody else is watching this. Nobody else. I mean, you can set it up. Riverside has that option for an audience, so you can have people watch. You can have people join in and all that stuff. But yeah, because basically this is like the same thing as like you posted a picture in a car just recently on Facebook. This is basically the same thing, but this is like drawn out, and then this has like a long
Mm.
story behind it, and you have like you go 10 levels deeper than just one picture. One picture is like, oh, you see a moment, and then you kind of scroll to the next, scroll to the next, scroll to the next thing. This, you actually sit down, dig in, and then you can do other things while you're listening, watching us, right? A lot of people might have us on their TV and then they're cooking dinner right now, or they're
Mhm.
vacuuming, or, maybe not vacuuming, but doing like, or maybe they are, or whatever. So that's like, I think that's where a lot of this is going. And I think there's a lot of, I just think there's a lot of, what am I trying to say? There's just a lot of opportunity out there for any of
Mm.
us to get involved in this space. I really think that there is an artistic level for us that are all between the ages of 40 and 50 that have like this, like that are very like funny. And who do you think was funniest in high school? Which makes me,
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm a little
one of our,
biased. I'm
yes.
biased. I feel like if there's one thing that I always look for in a significant other, it's funny.
Okay.
they have to make me laugh in
Okay.
order to like them.
Yes.
So I am biased when it comes to that, but there's multiple people that were funny. I feel like you guys named a few.
Oh, yeah. Bring up some
I
people
would
that we
say
didn't.
I would say Josh was really funny. He wasn't from our class, but he made me laugh all the time.
Yes. James brought him up on his episode, and I thought so too. I think he has a different type. I think
It's
him
a
and his
weird
brother,
it's a kind of
I think,
humor though. It's not like
I think him
it's
and his
just kind
brother
of
are
his
both really funny.
demeanor. It's just
Yes.
kind of like the way he smiles, or he'll be like,
Yes.
he'll like
Yes.
say something, and
Yes.
then it's his facial expressions after where he's just like,
I thought him and his
that make
brother
you
were both
laugh.
really funny,
Jason,
so
I never really experienced the funny part of him. It was more the serious older brother kind of
yeah.
vibe. So I
Yeah.
never really got to see him funny. So
Yeah.
Josh was definitely the funny one.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. Any others? Any others that maybe we didn't bring up? It's funny. You're like, yeah, you guys brought up all this. And
I'm
yeah,
trying to
we actually
think.
brought up Josh. Me and James brought up Josh because we agree with you. We think he's funny.
James is very funny. He was very like,
Senior
yes,
year,
he's
though.
funny too.
Senior year, did you think he was funny? Because I think
And
he went off. I think he had a lot of equity points, funny equity points that went towards him senior year.
senior year, I wasn't really around. It
Okay, you
was,
weren't paying
listen,
attention.
if
Yeah.
there was, I know what you're going to ask me. Biggest regret, I would say probably dating Jordan and like
Yeah.
best wishes to Jordan, but that was probably the worst decision I ever made
Yeah.
because
Where were you at senior
checked
year?
out. I checked out of high school when I
Yeah.
met him because he was like 2 years older. And I
Gotcha.
just got into a different environment that really
Yeah.
was not the best for me,
Yeah.
And so I was checked out.
Well, I think what a lot of people are noticing is that, I mean, at least, I mean, I kind of checked out at the second half of my senior year. I was really checked out. It was really hard for me to like stay
Well, yeah,
focused.
and most of us good working students had either early dismissal or late arrival because we had so many credits. And that's the issue I had. Like I had early dismissal the first semester. So, and then I
Oh,
decided, my God, I want to kick it and party. So I want late arrival. So,
wait, but
like, I think that was the
Did you
worst thing
cheer
that was
your
done.
senior year?
I did. I would say,
So
like,
how
on the
did that work?
surface,
How did that work?
I looked like a really good student. And undercover, I was like kicking it, like smoking cigarettes with my cheerleading skirt and smoking Mary Jane in the background. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I was a hot mess express, but I got good grades.
Yeah. No,
Oh, boy.
that's crazy because that's like I mean that's hard to do to try to like live a double life like that, during that, whenever whether it's back then or even like now. So it's yeah.
Now I definitely don't live a double life. No,
Yeah, just keep it real.
but no
Yeah.
double life for me now.
Yeah. No. One of the things I want to bring up is like that I'm also curious about is I know that you had cancer for a little bit. Is that correct?
Oh my God. Yeah. Like,
How
okay.
was
So
that? What was that like?
I came, yeah. I came to Arizona in May. I was taking a shower and, you're just soaping up. And I felt something really hard on my right side of my breast. And I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Mind you, a little I don't know what you want to call it, but pre-notion or whatever, my mom had breast cancer to the
Yeah,
bone and
yeah, yeah.
she actually died from it.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So
What year was that?
she died August 2020.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. You brought that up. 2020.
Yeah,
Um,
but she probably could have lived. She didn't do anything with it. She didn't try to be proactive or anything. But anyway, fast forward, I felt it and I was like, so
yeah,
anybody out there, make sure you're doing your exams if you're a woman. Make sure if you feel anything
yeah,
hard, the best way is the quickest way. Like
yeah.
don't be scared. Like get to the hospital, get to the doctor, get it checked out because the sooner you check it out, the better, right? Like the
I mean,
further it gets along in the stages, the harder it is to cure.
I think
Oh,
we're all in that age now where, everybody that's 98, like we're all in that age where we all should be paying a little bit more attention to,
yes.
health stuff because it's,
Yeah, like don't be scared. I know a lot
yeah,
of people, they wait until like
yeah,
they're at
scared
their
or stubborn.
worst or
Yep.
wait till they're like super dizzy or they're falling, to go to the hospital. Don't wait for that. Like do the preventative maintenance, go to the doctor every 6 months, like
So
do your checkups.
you
Like
felt that, and then how soon were you checked out?
I scheduled an appointment right away.
Yeah.
And then they did like a mammogram and a biopsy and all the things. And then I remember the day they told me it was July 1st, 2022. And it's life changing. It really is. Cause you're like, oh my God, this is like happening to me.
Yeah.
And so immediately I started chemo. I started to lose my hair. I was really, it's like the word.
How
So
soon? So you
imagine
got it. You found out in July. How soon did you start chemo? Like, how
right
fast were
away.
you able?
And I was stage 3. So the difference between stage 1 and stage 2 and stage 3 is stage 1 and stage 2, it hasn't reached your lymph nodes. But the minute it spreads to a lymph node, you are in 3 or 4.
Wow.
And that is a very, very scary place to be, because at that point it can metastasize
Yes.
and be incurable. So
What's metastasize mean again?
metastasize.
Size. Thank you.
There it is.
What does
Yeah,
that
that
mean again?
means where it spreads to other parts of your body and
Okay.
it's no longer curable.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, if it spreads to any other organ, any other area, you're done.
So 3, you're like, I mean, they tell you you have 3, and it's like that's in that
Very.
possible. Yeah. Yeah.
It was life-changing. It was super life-changing.
For
You
sure.
really start to reevaluate what you're doing in your life.
Mm,
I was really sick and I tried to work full time because I had to,
yeah.
I had to pay
Yeah.
the bills and things like that. So, and I'm a mom. I think Karev was like 2 or 3 at the time. He was born in 2020. So he was 2, you know.
Wow. Yeah.
Thankfully Chris was there to help. But yeah, I started chemo. I started losing my hair after I got done with chemo. So basically this is how chemo works. You are literally feeling okay like 1 week out of 6, 1 week a month for 6 months straight. You feel like you have the flu 3 weeks out of the month. It's really bad. I don't wish it on my worst enemy. It's
Yeah.
terrible to go through.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Go
so
ahead.
6 months I had chemo, and then you have to do radiation. So that's literally where they like put UV rays on that area to
Yeah.
like basically burn it from like growing back. And then I had to have surgery. I opted to have a double mastectomy. They were able to give me implants. Fast forward to like 3 weeks ago. So crazy that we're having this conversation,
Yeah.
which I'm not afraid to share, but I actually got a staph infection on my right breast.
Is it
I
from
thought I
happened?
had the flu.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, TMI, but I thought my implant popped, and it was like
Okay.
5 a.m. And I was really sick, and I was just like, hey, roommate, like take me to the hospital. Something is bad. Got checked into the hospital, found out the implant didn't break. I had a staph infection. I literally was hospitalized for 4 days straight, had to have surgery, and they removed it. They had to remove it. And I can't get an implant again on that side, because good thing to know, any women that have silicone breast implants, you're going to want to take note of this. If you get a staph infection, they literally will like leach to silicone implants. So if you're going to
Whoa.
do an implant, do saline. Whatever you do, don't do that. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So little
Thank you for
TMI, but
sharing that.
I'm
I
not
mean,
afraid to share.
yeah.
I kind of make light of it. Uh, Have you
Yeah.
seen The Goonies?
One of the greatest
You
movies
might,
ever made.
you might cut
Yeah.
this out, but I think it's so hilarious and it's how I get through. But I call him One-Eyed Willie. Eventually,
It's all
I'll
good.
be able
Yeah.
to get a reconstruction, hopefully, in the next 6 months. But in the meantime, that's his name. So that's how we're
Yeah.
living right now.
I mean, to get a reconstruction, does it have to be in this next 6 months, or can you get one later, like 2 years from
I can
now?
get one later. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Okay.
get one
Okay.
later. So I have
Yeah.
one
I mean,
implant and just like nothing right now on the right sides.
you were talking about starting a podcast. I mean, the One Eye Willie podcast sounds like a great name. So,
I did think about I'll tell you this. Going through that experience has taught me so much about like not being negative over the little small stuff, like
ooh, let's go.
life is so freaking short.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
who cares if you popped a tire today? Like, you're living, you're breathing, you have beautiful kids, like
Exactly.
you have a great baby's daddy, like all the things, you have a great job.
Whatever.
Let's not be like, what is the best saying? Don't stress the small stuff.
Small stuff. Yeah.
It's all small stuff,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. Like,
But yeah.
I mentioned in the last podcast, like Slater gave me that book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And it's basically
Okay.
that. The book is basically that. Don't stress the small stuff. Like, and that
It's
most of
all
it,
small stuff.
yes, most of it, if not all of it, you're right, is small stuff, And
In
so
comparison, absolutely.
that's why for a lot of things that get people down, man, when it's like, when it comes to like your life, it's really not that big of a deal, So yeah, man, I'm
The good
glad.
news is July 2022. So coming up in a few months, I'll be 3 years in remission.
So,
Once you're 5 years in remission, then they consider you cured.
so wait, you go back. So the radiation, when was that? When was the radiation done?
Oh my God. It immediately, I remember, so
What
I had,
month? Like, was it in?
it was like January to March.
Okay. Okay.
So literally I got diagnosed July 2022. They started treatments July 15th. My last treatment was Thanksgiving week.
Okay.
So
Your last chemo treatment.
Yeah, Chris took the kids. I was like, I'll just stay behind because I'll be sick anyway. So what's the point? Like, I don't want to like be a Debbie Downer. So I stayed home that Thanksgiving, but then I think I had a trip or something. So I waited till January and then I had radiation. You have to have it daily for 6 weeks straight. I think it was daily. I'm pretty sure it's a lot. And so that area is permanently burnt.
Wow.
And so that's why that happened with the staph infection, is because it takes,
because of the radiation.
I mean, it was like 2.5 years later and I got a staph infection in one of the wound sites.
Gotcha.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it takes literally forever to heal because that skin is permanently burnt, basically. So imagine having a sunburn and it just staying there forever.
Not fun. Does not sound fun at all.
Yeah.
And so
but I survived.
Absolutely.
I'm here.
Absolutely.
So
and I'm thank you for I thank you for sharing that, because that's I think that's so profound, man. That somebody being able to, just survive, it's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people just, kind of like you were saying, like some people just give up, too easy, or, whatever it is. But it's just, it's just a trip and it's just a good reminder, man. Everybody should be thankful for every day. It's
absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's, we're all, I mean,
we're not invincible.
We're not.
We're not invincible.
We're not.
No.
And it's a shame how many people that we have already known that like we went to school with that aren't here anymore, and so it's also 100%. Another like, it's just another reminder. But man, thank you for all of that. That was for sharing that. That was
so when I was going through chemo and all the things, I don't know if you know her, but she's from our class. She reached out to me in Facebook. So shout out to Facebook for allowing us the opportunity to still connect with people.
For sure.
Jennifer, I think I might butcher her last name. Oh yeah, it's Constanata or something. But she also had breast cancer. And
wow.
She reached out to me. She was so sweet. She was like, I'm going through it too. Like, if you need anything. And I was like, you're so sweet. Like,
man,
we talked to each other about it, and she's doing well. I'm pretty sure I need to probably message her and check in with her. But yeah, like, I thought that was really cool. And then Josh's mom also went through breast cancer. So we stay in touch about, things like that. So just connecting on that level as well.
Oh, that's crazy that you went through that. And I'm so, man, to catch it stage 3 and beat it still, that
was freaking scary. Knock on wood. I said, just get rid of it. Just get rid of all of it. I can get whatever. I don't even care. Just get rid of it. Any chance of it coming back, I don't want it. I'm gonna fight till the end. Like, I have 2 boys, I have kids. I can't risk it. Like, I'm not going anywhere right now.
Yeah. How old are your boys now?
So I have a 5-year-old and a 15-year-old.
Okay. Dope.
Both boys. I'm a boy
Gotcha.
mom. My 5-year-old was actually named after my favorite show, Grey's
Ooh,
Anatomy.
okay, let's go.
Okay? Like
Yes,
it's like my comfort show. You know how you have that show where you could just play it in the background and you just like it's your safety show?
mine is The
Grey's
Office.
Anatomy.
Yeah.
Okay. I've watched The Office. I need to like watch some more episodes, but Grey's Anatomy. So I was pregnant and it was my turn to name the baby because Chris had already got to name Cameron. And so I kept watching it and I kept hearing Karev, Dr. Alex Karev. And so I was like, Karev. And I remember when I told Chris that, he goes, hell no. He was like, man, if he's trying to get a job, he was like, and somebody sees Karev, they're not going to give him a job because of his name. I was like,
That's hilarious.
okay, no, that won't happen. It'll be fine. Right. But anyway, I got to name him Karev. And it is like the best name on the planet. And I looked it up. When I was pregnant to make sure there is not one person in the United States. There might be now, but there was not
Yeah.
one with the name Karev. So
That's gangster. Dang.
yeah.
That's so hard.
And at his daycare, every single one of the girls loves Grey's Anatomy. So they're like,
Wow.
Karev.
That's like, does
Yeah.
that show, do you still watch that show? Isn't it still going?
I don't like the newer episodes
Okay. Yeah.
after McDreamy died and McSteamy died and Lexi died and Christina left. Like, it's not as good. But
It's hard to keep something engaging for 20 plus years, but the fact that,
yeah.
it's still, out there
Yeah, I mean,
producing
kudos
stuff.
to them.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Did you, what other, any favorite businesses from, like, that you miss, that you used to?
Well, I don't know if Cricket's is still there.
I think
Do
they
you know if
are
Cricket's
actually.
the restaurant?
I think
That's a
so.
cool spot. In my like mid-20s, that's where we used to kick it and just see like people that we haven't seen in a long time.
That is true.
There's
I
a new
think,
place. My
but yeah,
cat's fighting with the dog. Sorry. Anyway,
you're good.
Cowgirls Up. It's a newer place. It was like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It was really fun New Year's Eve like 10 years ago. But
We had, and this is why I feel kind of bad. Like, they had, did you go to the 20-year?
no, I'm
Yeah.
terrible.
No, you're okay. Um, so what you call it? I think they had like an official, and then some people asked me to put together like an unofficial kind of get together, and then we kind of had it there at Cowgirls.
Really?
Yes, we had a unofficial sort of get together because I remember like Jay and Randy came from the like real one, and then there was just a bunch of other people that, I'll take the blame for that because I kind of like helped organize that, but it was kind of messed up because it's like, oh, we should have just went to the regular one where everybody was kind of at, and so we kind of had some people wanted to put a ghetto one together where we just meet up at the bar, and so like we were at that one, and so yeah, but that's no, I love that spot too because yeah, we were yeah, I
I
used to go there.
remember back in the day, way back in the day,
Yeah, those are
Sprinker
the ones I
used to be
love
the spot, right?
for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
That
Sprinker.
was way back in the day. The rock, climbing the rock at
Oh
Sprinker,
yeah, right outside. Yeah.
and some of
Even
us did some naughty things behind the rock.
there you
Just
go.
saying.
Yep. I mean,
In
even
our older
Spanaway Park.
years,
Yeah, I have a lot of
Spanaway
memory.
Park.
I have a lot of memories there. So I'm trying to think. Yeah. No, that's funny. What about what type of music did you listen to back then?
Oh my God.
Did you have any
I
favorite
live,
artists, groups, songs?
just like Jay, I listened to so many different types of genres of music, but
Yeah.
it depended what kind of mood I was in. But I would say way back in the day, I listened to Belle Biv DeVoe,
Okay.
Poison.
Yeah.
My oldest sister taught me how to dance. I remember that
We
clearly. She was in the
we
dance team in high
we
school.
we went to that concert when they came in like 2014. Did you go to that? It was a show where
Mm-mm.
2014, 15. Yeah,
That's funny.
they what you call it, New Edition. They came, and that was their last song was Poison. That was like their hitter. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like me,
Mary J.
Tim.
Blige.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What's the 411, hun? I think that might have been that, and Sinead O'Connor were like my first CDs. And then Mariah Carey, of course.
Did you have a big
And then
CD pack in your car or whatever? Were you
did
one of those
eventually.
big
Yeah,
CD
I
collector?
did.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of
My
like
God, early teens, Eminem was my man. I was
okay,
like
yeah,
listening to him all the time. And then Jay-Z.
yeah.
Oh my God, Biggie,
When did you get rid
Tupac.
of that CD pack, that big ass CD pack that you
I don't
had?
even
Like,
remember. I have a
yeah,
new
because
one that's full of like kids movies.
yeah, no, that's
Because you have kids now and you have the DVD player in your car, and then,
yeah, no,
But
that's
back in the day, there's another one I wanted to mention, Boys to Men.
yeah.
Yes.
That was one of my favorites too. One
So
of my
love
junior
making
high.
music.
That was like my junior high. Like that was probably my favorite thing to listen to in junior high. The
You know what's
Cedar Crest days.
crazy that I have to bring up is the
What's up?
stuff we were doing at that age
Mhm.
is just mind blowing to me.
What do you mean?
Well,
Expand.
like the stuff that kids do at the age between like their tweens and like 18 is just mind blowing to me. My 15-year-old, 15 and a half year old. Oh, it's starting to echo now. Anyway, um,
You sound okay to me.
he's like an old soul. And I'm like, who are you? He doesn't kick it outside of school. I'm like, it's just crazy to me. I'm like, are you okay? He games all the time. He doesn't do extracurriculars. He gets all A's. He has one B. I'm just like,
Yeah,
he's a
I think he's
mama's boy, I think.
no. I think he's a product of the generation. I think that like all those things you mentioned just sound normal to people that are have
Which
grown
I'm
up.
glad. I'm super happy about it because I was doing way more at the age that he is. Like, and I'm
Yeah,
glad
I mean,
he's a
there's
homebody.
yeah, no, I think there's pros and cons to it. Like sometimes you just learn things about life a little bit earlier, because some of those things he's missing out on, he's not learning at this age. And maybe, as a parent, you don't want them to learn some things at
I
those
don't.
early ages, right? Exactly. So
The
that,
things
but
I learned, I do not want him to learn.
exactly.
I mean, he
So
knows about it because he's got social media and internet, but he has no desire to
yeah.
like do those things. So,
I think,
which is
you
nice.
know, the one concerning thing is just the interaction with other people. I think me and DJ were about to talk about it, but just about how how a lot of the youth can't communicate just maybe the way we can, and just maybe having conversations, stuff like that, and just communicating with others, and I think that might eventually be a problem, but I just think everything your son's doing is just normal. That's just like,
Really? Because
it's a sign of the
like
times. It's more of a sign of the times. It's
crazy.
normal for the times.
Well,
Yeah.
because my girlfriend, her daughter's in cheerleading. She's kicking it with her girlfriends. Like they have boyfriends, and my son's over here just gaming online, and that's it. That's all
Yeah.
he does.
I think,
And he's very responsible. He does like 6 chores every day. By the time I get home, all that stuff's done. He gets good grades. I'm like, I'm kind of worried in a way. I'm like, you're not. But at the same time, I'm like, I feel blessed, So I don't
for
know.
sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that, yeah, I think technology is ultimately a good thing, but maybe it just changes the way, we all grow up with technology different. And I think there's a special, because of our age group, we grew up with it in a way that,
Well,
I
we
don't
didn't
know,
have that, right?
we
So
didn't.
we got into a lot more stuff because we didn't have technology. So you bring up such a great point, right? We didn't
Yeah.
have access to that. So we had to like entertain ourselves.
You had a plan, but it amazes me how did we hang out with our junior high friends, right? How did we communicate with them? Like,
How do we
how did
even get to people's houses for birthday
all
parties? Like,
all
you
of
had to
it,
write it down.
all of it,
That's
right?
crazy.
You need.
So would get mad at you when you didn't know your way. You're like, I don't know.
I still remember. I just remember, I still remember Chris Belser driving in ninth grade. And I thought that was so cool. I was like, damn, man, we still in
But
junior
yeah.
high and you're driving already? I was like, dude, that's tight. Like, I was so envious. I was like, I won't drive until I'm a junior. And I'm like, damn, we're already in, so yeah, but
Do
it's
you
funny because,
remember that his parents would dress him and his brother in the same jogger suits, all
yeah,
different colors and everything? They
yeah,
always
because,
had them matching.
I think his dad, I think I think they would bring stuff back from like Korea or something. I think the dad might have
Oh
been
yeah.
stationed over there because my dad was stationed there, and like my dad would bring out it wasn't jogger suits, but it was like all these other like blankets, but they were all in that style because that lettering is like
I
all
mean,
they
they were
all
all like, yeah, they were all nice brand like Nike stuff, but they were all
yeah
like different colors and they
matching
would
yeah
match. I'm like, did your parents make you guys do that? Color
yeah
coordinate today?
yeah exactly yeah that's why it's like yeah that's
I
just
remember we got invited, me and Holly got invited. It was in junior high. We got invited to his birthday party. I want to say it
ninth
was like
grade, eighth
seventh
grade,
or eighth grade.
seventh
Yeah,
grade.
something
Okay,
like
yeah, it's funny
he's
because
cool people.
he is, but he went to Bethel, and it's funny because we were talking. I was talking with somebody, and like, kind of, because he was good. He was just a great athlete, and but he had gone to elementary school with us, and then junior high, and it was just like, you know, they lived right next to Bethel, so it made sense for him to go there. But it was just kind of like, man, that's kind of what we hated, like being a Spanaway Lake person. That's kind of what we hated about Bethel is like they were really good at sports and they kind of beat us in a
Yeah.
lot of stuff. So it was just like, but no, I always respected Chris. He is cool.
Especially
Yeah.
on the girls' side, we always had the like for the girls, we had those girls that were our competition.
Yeah.
And when we would cheer against them, we knew the popular girls at Bethel because we cheered
Yeah.
against them and all the boys would talk about them. Yeah.
Thought you were going to expand. Do you have any
I'm not
stories?
expanding.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine. Do you have any like fun stories from any of your extracurricular
Oh my
activities from
God.
softball, from fast pitch to softball days to cheerleading?
Oh my God. Cheerleading was, I would say, my niche. I loved cheerleading. With all that female, all those personalities, like it was inevitable that we would love hate each other. But junior high, Emily Davis and me used to butt heads all the time. All the time. I think me and Asia did too. I pretty much butted heads with everybody. I was like very strong personality.
Nice.
I had good intentions, but I just didn't have that developed like emotional kind of like self-awareness
Yeah.
that I have now. I feel
I mean,
like I have
sometimes
now.
like if you say you have good intentions, sometimes it's just the packaging and
And the
how you're,
delivery.
which I think is part of the packaging. I think delivery is definitely part of the packaging. That it's all
Yeah.
the packaging kind of encompasses everything, right? Because if you have good intentions, you want the delivery, then what's your tone and so all of a lot of it is kind of
I
combines
think
into one. So
I think a lot of it had to do with the way I was raised. My mom did a lot of yelling, and it was a lot of she was either in a really good mood and she was fun with my friends, or she was super crazy. There was no in between, right?
yeah,
So I think like I just didn't, I don't know. I think I could have done better if I would have been in the right environment, but it is good. It's all
yeah,
good. Like I've
yeah.
learned how to kind of soften my delivery and kind of read the room better, read your audience, and less is more.
Who do you see now from high school on a regular? It sounds like so. Jay came to visit
Oh
last
my
year or something
God, that
like
was
that.
so fun. Yeah. He
Dope.
is so funny. I sleep in a lot. Like I
Yeah.
could sleep till like 3 p.m.
Oh
No
yeah,
joke.
yeah, yeah,
Because I'm just like going all week, and I work
yeah.
long hours and I got my kids. But it was so funny. I slept till like noon one day. We had went out the night before, so in all fairness, I am not young anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
And
yeah,
we
no,
did
for
drink a
sure.
lot.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Ready to go?
I had the door open. Yeah, he was like, are you serious right now? It was like noon. And I was like, I'm getting up, I promise.
Dude, that's a different energy though. That's different. He's visiting right? He's visiting on vacation. You're living your life, and you had a night
I
that you
know.
normally
I
don't
should have
have.
got up though.
No,
I should
no,
have got
no,
up. I'm the
hell
hostess.
no. But still,
I was
he's
like, you
got a
can drive my car. Go ahead.
exactly,
Go.
exactly.
He
Like there's
did too.
options. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's options that he could have done. Like it's all good. Like you gotta. I could understand it. Maybe if you didn't go out the night before and say you stayed home the night before, okay, that would be worth a conversation. But
Yeah.
dude, you guys kicked it tough, and so Noon's really not that bad, and so
He is honestly one of my favorite people. Like I honestly adore him. He is the homie.
for sure,
And Randy is too. I don't kick it with Randy. Hardly ever, but because things change, you get older, you get relationships and all the things.
absolutely, yeah, man. Times change all the time, yeah. Because sometimes you're tighter with some people, sometimes you're not. Everybody goes through seasons, you know what I mean? And people move and things change. Like it's
With
ever
love,
changing.
right? And
Well,
you
it's just
can't like
changing. It's not
have
even
the
just
same
that.
relationships and friendships that you had when you were younger, because
I
people
don't know.
get
I'm trying my
married and things
hardest.
like that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And you have to respect that. So, which I
For
get.
sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, yeah. Who else do you see?
Now I'm in
Yeah, no.
Arizona, so nobody's here.
Okay, so like no, sorry.
But
I mean, let me rephrase that. Like who do you like still keep in contact with, like, on like maybe a monthly, bi-monthly basis? Doesn't have to be every week or
okay,
every day,
let's
but like people you're still in
or
contact
who's
with, like on a.
well, Leanne actually does live here, but I never see her because if I see her, it's because I have to drive all the way out to Maricopa, which is like 40-minute drive. This girl does not come see me. So, Leanne, if you're listening, you better bring your butt over here to see me because it's your turn. Other than that, like Holly and Mary and things like that, we send reels. Rosa, we send reels to each other all the time. Like, that's how we stay in contact. That's our thing,
That's how you
But as
communicate.
far as
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's how you know you love somebody. You annoy them by sending them funny reels.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as far as like seeing anybody, I think the only person I see is my baby's daddy,
Yeah.
which is Chris.
Yeah.
But I don't really see anybody when I go
Yeah.
out to Washington. It's funny. I stayed at the Muckleshoot Casino, and when we had
What, the new hotel?
yeah, so nice. I stayed in that shower for like almost an hour. I was just like, I don't
Wow.
want to get out. It was
Yeah.
so nice. Yeah, you have to stay there.
Okay.
Beautiful
That's
mountain
on the
views.
list for sure.
Yes, but I came out there I was already planning on coming out there, but Hank O'Brien passed away, rest his
Yep.
soul.
Yep.
So everybody came out. Matt was there.
Yep.
Matt,
Polis.
Polis. Yeah.
Polis. Yep.
Matt came out. Andy was there. Jay was there. Freaking Pat Martin was there. I didn't even recognize him. I was like, he goes, "You don't recognize me?" And then after I stared at him for a minute, I was like, oh.
Yes.
Holly was there, but we all kicked it at the casino for a little bit, and they came in my room. I think it was Matt and Randy. And we just reminisced.
Yeah. Did
And
one
my
of these
sister was
basically.
there with my niece. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just reminisced in the room. And by the time we got downstairs to get a drink, we literally could get one drink and then it was over. I was like, all right, we'll see you later.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was cool. It was a lot of fun. It was really good time to reminisce with everybody.
Absolutely. That's why I'm glad that we can do this. And you have this time where now literally everybody that's listening to you gets to catch up with you. And like a lot of people probably didn't even know, you live in Arizona. Like I get that a lot from people, like are finding out things, so no, that's good. That's dope. That's exactly kind of what, I made this for.
I just want to see everybody in the next couple of years,
Well, you will know.
I think that
Well,
would be
I think,
so awesome is just to like regroup like especially like Brianne. I love that girl.
yeah.
Brianne is a really good peeps. I'm still waiting for her to become president of the United States. Like I'll be on
She,
her what do
yeah,
you call that?
she's working on it.
Campaign team?
Yeah.
Come on, Brianne. We need you to
Yeah.
be the first woman president. Like get on
Yep.
it right
I can
now.
help out too. I worked on 2 congressional campaigns, so I know what that's like. And man, it was kind of a bitch, but man, it was fun. So, but
Remember when I think she won school president, didn't she? In high school?
she was
I could have
senior
sworn she
class.
did.
was senior class president, and then Todd Mitchell, I believe,
Oh yeah,
was
I
the
remember that.
ASB president. Yes. So there was two separate sort of president things going on, but yeah, because yeah, I was on that. I think it was so Bree was the president, and then Young June and Ralph Weddle were the vice president and secretary treasurer, and then I was the representative or something like that. So yeah, I didn't do much though. But hey, I didn't. I have the least the lowest title. I just wanted to just add something to the resume but still do the least amount of work. So yeah, that's kind of why I did that. But yeah, no,
One good
I
memory I have of Bree is she invited me up when she was in college, and I don't know if it was a dorm or she lived, I think it was a dorm. Maybe it was an apartment she rented, but we had the best time that weekend. We like reminisced. It was years ago. I swear to God, it was like
I
20
mean,
years ago.
if she was in college, it would have been 20 years ago. And this is what's funny about not having social media back then and how it was a shame because I just realized there was a group of us that were all in Seattle at the same time with Bree. In fact, Bree was probably only like the closest college away from UW, which is like 15. She was only like 15 minutes away from us, and we never saw her. I don't think we saw her
That's
once. We
crazy.
might have seen her if we met back
What
up in
college did she
Spanaway,
go to?
SPU, Seattle
Oh,
Pacific,
okay.
which is not that far away. It's literally like, yeah, it's less than 15 minutes. And you can go the back way and it might even be faster. But yeah, it's crazy that because she didn't realize, she was like, Jay went to college? It was like, yeah, like that freshman year was kind of wild. Like that's when we met Ken. And it was just, yeah. So that freshman year was just kind of crazy. But for us to have all the stories we had, man, we didn't even know Bree was in like Seattle with us. She was actually 20 minutes away. And it's funny how like years later we're
Because she's
putting
a
two.
hard worker. She
Man,
wasn't
she wasn't trying
partying
to.
back then, I don't think.
She wasn't going to kick it with us that much
She
anyway.
did go
But
with me one night, and I was like impressed. I was like, "What?
no, yeah, that's what I'm
Who is
saying.
this?"
That's what I'm saying. I think like if she yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that like it would have been nice to like occasionally have like just meet up randomly, but like zero times is like I think when we all met up in this just so weird to just be so close to people that and then not um like talk to them. And like I don't feel like people should feel bad because it happens all the time. And this is also another reason for this podcast is that people talk all the time. Like Jay and Robert are in Germany and man, they never see each other, and so it happens too. There's like hella people
They're
that
in
live,
Germany now?
yes, and they don't see each other
What?
like that much. Yeah. Oh, you'll see them. They'll be on
What
this
are they doing
podcast.
in Germany?
Oh, you'll see. You gotta stay tuned on the Swayside
What?
Connection podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll be on the show for sure. We just gotta figure out how to package the delivery of when they come on. So, and then we're also because right now they're actually 12 hours. We're 12 hours difference. So like I know whatever time it is for me, it's the opposite for them. So like right now it is like it is 5 p.m. So it's like 5 a.m. So they're just waking up in Germany right now. Like Robert probably
Wow.
just woke up for work right now. Yeah. So, but
That's crazy.
it is crazy,
What
and that's
brought you to Samoa? I
my
wanted to ask
mom.
you that.
My mom. Yeah. So my mom's
Oh,
here. Yeah, so it's kind of like same thing, kind of how you were talking about your grandparents. They're just getting old. I mean, my mom's not that old; she's still cool. But after my dad passed like 6 years ago, they were living in Vegas, and I was kind of hanging out with them there too. And people thought I moved to Vegas because my dad got sick. No, it was actually not even that. I happened to move there, and then he happened to get sick, and then he ended up passing. So it wasn't like I moved there because of that. I moved there and then just not luckily, but like he got sick while I was there. But the good thing about when he actually
things work
passed,
in crazy
yeah,
ways,
so
right?
crazy
Like
because
it was
people don't.
meant to be for you to be there, you know what I mean? So
I am
that
so thank.
I'm telling you, that
No, you're
it's
a thousand
real. It's real.
thousand percent because after he passed, COVID started, and literally the whole everything that led up to his funeral would not
Dang,
have.
I think your dad passed around the time my mom passed.
Yeah, no.
When
So
did he pass?
he passed October 19th, 2019, October 2019.
Okay, my mom passed August 2020.
Oh yeah, sorry, September. And we had the funeral in October 2019. And then yeah. So it would not, I mean, less than a year. They were real close, but dude, that's why I feel sorry I don't know how that whole thing went down because that's in the heart of COVID that your mom
Mm-hmm.
passed. So God, that's like my dad didn't have like, or my dad's funeral, anybody can come from anywhere. It was all good. It was literally months later, like less than 3 months later, the world shut down. And then I was
Right.
like, dude, half the stuff that we did we would have not been able to do any of the things we did or had people come visit or whatever. So yeah, so yeah. And then after all that,
I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah, no, I mean, it happens, and so, but yeah, that's kind of why I'm out here is like, so my mom's out here and she's kind of by herself. So I'm back and forth between here, the States and New Zealand. And so, yeah, I just try to
Ooh, what's out in New Zealand? New Zealand?
yeah, New
New
Zealand. Oh,
Zealand.
you'd love New Zealand. It's like Seattle. Yeah. New Zealand's like Seattle. New Zealand's like the Southern hemisphere, Seattle. And so I have tons of family there. So my dad has a brother and like all of his kids out there. And then my mom has, I don't know, like 4 or 5 brothers and sisters that live out there. And
Wow.
then, yeah. And then I have a brother that lives there he's like the vice principal of his school, of his old high school. So yeah, he lives out there. And so, yeah, I got tons of family out there. I have a bag of luggage still there right now of all my winter
Far is that?
clothes. It's a three
How
hour
far is that
flight
from?
from
Well,
here.
that's not bad.
It's not
That's,
bad.
I mean,
It's closer than
if you
Hawaii
don't
is.
like to fly,
So like,
then it's a little bit of a trek.
yeah, a flight from here to Hawaii is like 5 hours, and a flight from here
Oh,
to
that's
New
not
Zealand
bad.
is 3 hours. Yeah. So it's like
Okay.
2 5-hour flights to get back to the States. So 5 hours to Hawaii from here, and then, another 5 hours from here to whatever, Seattle or LA or something like that. So yeah,
So, if you could describe Samoa to those of us that haven't been there, what would you say the weather's like and all
it's
that?
brutal. It's brutal. It's brutal if you're from Seattle. It's super humid. It's like Miami weather basically. I've never been to Miami, but it's like 80s and
Florida is
100.
brutal.
Okay, it's like that.
Humidity is brutal.
It's
Like
like
you
that.
literally walk outside anywhere on the East Coast,
It's like that.
Maryland, Florida. You
Oh
walk out,
yeah,
you literally take a shower,
feel
you
it.
go
You
outside,
feel it.
and you're
Yeah,
like, I need
yeah,
another shower. This is so
yeah,
ridiculous.
yep. And so that's why like all these podcasts, I'm wearing tank tops and I have fans going. I have 2 fans and the air conditioning going on right now. So I had to check to see if
Wow.
it was on. But yeah, yeah, and it's still kind of brutal. So it's funny because yeah, it's brutal. That's why I miss wintertime. Like I didn't like that about living in Vegas, how it was like Groundhog's Day. It's like the sun is cool. I have nothing wrong with it, but man, sun 320 days
Oh,
out of the year is kind of
then we are
annoying to
so
me.
opposite.
Yeah,
No,
can't do that.
I love it.
Like the
I
seasons.
love it.
It's not that I don't like the sun, but I like the seasonality of things. I
I
think
agree with you.
I think
Yeah,
the
I like the
seasons fool me.
smell of the seasons change, which in
Yeah,
Washington it does that. Like
yeah,
the crispness of fall, the winter, like it's the sensory, like the smell.
yeah,
You don't have that in Arizona, but oh my God, like
yeah.
I love it. I love waking up. Like no matter what mood I'm in, the sun's out and I'm like, I'm
It's
good.
funny.
I'm good.
It's so funny because I was the opposite. I would, wake up in Vegas and like, it's the sun again. Like, damn, there is no kind of, there is no, what's that called? Like variety. We have no
Yeah.
variety. And that was killing me. Just that the
Yeah.
monotony of the sun is like, it's weird because usually people love the sun, but me, I would look out and like, damn, it's just sunny again today. And it's weird how I look at it like that because
That's
it's just like,
funny. Yeah. I'm a sun baby. Like I literally love the summer. I walk out and it's like a
yeah.
sauna and I love it.
Yeah, I love Seattle summer. I love
Dry heat though. It's not humid.
yeah, which is better than humidity. I like
Mhm.
the dry heat too, but I was just saying to somebody today is like my favorite is actually 50 degrees and sunny because that's like peak Seattle right there where it's like 50 degrees, sunny. I can wear a hoodie and shorts and sunglasses and be all good. So, yeah.
Okay, I would say 70 degrees, 69, 70 degrees, sweatshirt, hoodie, at the beach. That's perfect
Well, that's why I also
in
like
Washington.
yes. But I also like, even if it's an 80-degree day in Washington at night in the summer, it still gets, sometimes it touches 50s, so
Yeah.
you still kind of need a hoodie sometimes. And so, yeah, but
That's crazy.
it is. Well, before we wrap up, is there anything else that you wanted to?
But I definitely think you need to get Stickle on here, Heidi, maybe Jason Walker.
Yeah. Hey, I'm down. I'm down.
Trying to think of who else.
If you can do me a favor, just reach out to them. And this is the easiest part for you is just you'll send them this YouTube link and then they can, and then they can give you your feedback of,
Yeah, that's
because I
awesome.
would love to have all of those people on, so yeah, it would be dope, Okay, to wrap this up, what if you could go back to your, to our senior year and, have a conversation with yourself, what would you say to that April, your senior year April?
So I would just say be smarter, April. Unnecessary. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, no ill will though.
For sure. For
Like I
sure.
wish you the best, Jordan.
For sure. For sure. For sure. Well, hey, thank you for coming on the Swayside Connection podcast. And yeah, we'll see you later.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for coming on. Peace.